and welcome to Let's Make It Vegan. This is Chef Fred, and today we're going to work on a pasta dish, but I wanted to try to do a sauce that is really delicious and really nutritious. So basically what I'm going to do is kind of a takeoff on the baked ziti kind of thing, but make it much more healthy and flavorful by adding and doing some things that might be a little bit different. I'm going to be making a sauce from roasted sweet peppers. Now these are ripe peppers, not your normal green peppers that you're used to. I love the red, yellow, and orange sweet peppers because they're so full of vitamins, vitamin C, antioxidants. Any way I can in order to get these into my diet, I love to try to do so. So we're actually going to be making our pasta sauce with these peppers and some other ingredients to make it really yummy. So we're going to be packing all this wonderful pepper goodness into a sauce and making a really hearty pasta dish at the same time with also kale. So here's what's going to happen. All these peppers we're going to go ahead and roast in the oven. I'm not going to roast them whole. We are going to go ahead, cut them off the seeds and off the core and just get them roasting. I'm not trying to very high roast them like I did before and get a good char on them. All we're trying to do is actually get them cooked. And technically, you can steam them also. Steaming would not be a problem and actually a little easier and a little quicker, but I've already got the oven hot from some things I was doing earlier today. So I'm just going to go ahead and get these guys cut up and roasting. Along with that, of course, garlic. We do need a good bit of garlic in any kind of pasta sauce to make it really yummy. Then we will add some different herbs and things like that also. As far as with the sauce, what we're going to do is get these guys roasted up, put them in our high-speed blender, and get them blended up. Now, I don't want to end up with basically a pepper juice. I do want a sauce. So after we even do get these zipped down, we're going to go ahead, add some vegan sour cream, not a lot, maybe a couple tablespoons, and then flavor it up with our spices, seasonings, also get the garlic in there. And as we go ahead and get the sauce then in a pan and get it simmering, I'm going to add some chopped up kale. Now this is going to add not only great nutrients to it, but a little more as far as mouthfeel, some bite, a little bit of crunchiness in there, so it's just not a plain smooth sauce. Kale's a great thing to add to any kind of salads or things to give some crispness, to give definitely nutrients, but a little bit extra as far as what you're chewing on. So when we do get the pasta sauce all made, I am going to chop up kale, get it in there and cooked in with the simmering pasta sauce to get it cooked in so that it's incorporated. We do have some fresh mozzarella, some vegan fresh mozzarella that we're going to go ahead and add. We're going to go ahead and bake this like a baked ziti. So once we get our sauce and everything made, we'll incorporate some fresh mozzarella, some vegan parmesan, and make it very similar to a baked ziti, but the sauce is going to be all pepper based. We are going to be using a gluten-free pasta, which I prefer. I'm not gluten intolerant, but I have found that when I do use the gluten-free pastas, it doesn't give me that heavy feeling like I just ate a giant dish of lasagna that I'm used to. So love the gluten-free pasta, and we'll go ahead and get these guys put together. I'll get these roasting and we'll come back and take a look at what it is and how we're going to go ahead and put it all together. We'll show you the sauce and different things we put in there a little bit closer. But get these guys roasted and we'll be back to show you more. Okay, here we are. We've got all our veg, mixed peppers, garlic, all whipped up in the high-speed blender. It's still pretty thick yet. I did add the vegan sour cream, about 3 tablespoons of the vegan sour cream to it. And as you see, it actually still stayed pretty thick. We're going to get this in our saucepan. And what I want to do is get this heated up in order to then be able to get our kale, which I chopped up, and this is basically 4 cups of chopped kale. And I'm going to go ahead and get that down in here and get that kale cooked down in the sauce. I'm going to also, for flavor, add some olive oil, just in order to bring out the flavor and help get the kale broken down in here. And we're going to get that going on a little simmer for, I don't know, 15-20 minutes until we get the heat up. And this was still kind of warm just from blending it up after getting it all cooked down. To give you an idea of what we've got here, we've got the kale all in the sauce, and it's already warming up a little bit and getting the kale broken down. And so we'll let this simmer a little bit. I may end up wanting to add a little bit of water, or probably just be some water. I tasted this previously and it is really great. There's a sweetness to it, a little bit of spice. I did add 1 jalapeno. If you look at the still picture that I posted just before this, I did put 1 jalapeno in there in order to give a little bit of spice background taste, so that it wasn't complete sweetness, because ripe red and yellow peppers do have a good bit of sweetness to them. So I wanted to counteract that a little bit with some spice, and it really did add a nice little kick to it. But we'll let this guy go ahead and simmer here for about 20 minutes or so, just until the kale does cook down. And you know how, if you're using spinach or any other green in a sauce, you start out with a giant bunch of it, and by the time it cooks down, it looks like you got 3 tablespoons. So we're going to go ahead and let this guy cook down. Some of the moisture might come out of the kale and thin it up also, but if it's too thick or thin, we'll go ahead and deal with that as we go. That's part of cooking, just dealing with the natural moisture that's in, all these vegetables. So we'll get this simmered up, and later we'll go ahead and cook our pasta up, get some of our cheeses in, and do our little pasta bake here. But we'll catch you in a little while when we come back. Thanks. All right, here we are. We've got our sauce that we had started a little while ago, and I want to show you that the the kale really virtually has just gone to almost nothing in here. We've got our nice sauce. It's been warming, going through. Also in the back here, I'll show you, I've got some vegan butter and olive oil along with crushed garlic, and I basically just crushed the garlic in a mortar and pestle in order to get that in there simmering a little bit, in order to do up some garlic bread that'll go with this in the end. And we'll show you that once we get there. So got our sauce ready. I just drained the pasta. Let me go over and grab that. And not sure exactly how much we're going to need to go into our whole thing. I'll save a little bit just in order to make sure we've got enough space. And I've got our vegan fresh mozzarella right here that I just crumbled up by hand in some little chunks. And we're going to go ahead and put that in here, and we're just going to mix all this sauce and the vegan vegan mozzarella all up in this pot, and get that all nice and mixed up and gooey. And like I said before, that 4 cups of chopped kale is barely anything in here. That's just going to add some nice vitamins to us, a little bit more texture. So we've got this guy all mixed up, And I do have some Follow Your Heart Parmesan that I'm going to go ahead and throw in there too for a little bit more flavor. And get this guy just mixed up. And we're going to go ahead and put this in a casserole dish in order to bake up, not real long, maybe 15 minutes, just in order to let all this kind of sit, marry together, get all the flavors going on, get all the cheeses melted. Go ahead and get these guys in our casserole dish, and hopefully we've got a good amount that we're not going to overdo our space. I think we judged that pretty good there. So we've got that going here. Just set that down. Get this going around. And we're going to put this in the oven to let all this guy go together, get going a little bit. And all that sauce is wonderful vitamins and antioxidants ready to go. We'll get this in the oven, get it baked up, and we'll catch you in a little bit once we get plated up with our garlic bread. Okay guys, here we are. We got our pasta bake out of the oven and it's hot and ready to go. As you can see, all that kale pretty much just disappeared into a little bit of extra flavor and nutrients in our whole bake. We got our garlic bread, and for this garlic bread, I did things a little bit differently than I normally would do with garlic bread. A lot of times what I will do is roast the whole head of garlic, and when that's soft, mix it in with a vegan butter and spread it on. But because this is such a mild and sweet sort of tasting pasta, not sweet in sugar, but sweet as in not not real savory, because we used all the right peppers, I wanted to make the garlic bread have a little more bite. So I basically just ground up the garlic in a mortar and pestle and let that simmer a little bit in a combination of olive oil and butter in order to give it a little more flavor. So this garlic bread is going to be really zippy and ready to go with our dish. As you see, we've got our baked pasta here. It's, you know, very hearty, very good as far as, you know, something substantial. We'll get this guy plated up, and as you can see, and I know it's orange and may look like cheese, but this is not a cheesy dish whatsoever. This is a really nutrient rich red peppers. It's got your kale. It is definitely something that is gonna definitely satisfy your palate as well as your nutrients. We've got our Parmesan that we're gonna grate on here. And this is that good hard Parmesan that we've used before. It's great for finishing dishes like this. So we've got that guy ready to go. I want to thank you for joining me today, and I want to remind you to like, subscribe, tell your friends. This is kind of stuff that we're doing a couple times a week. And just a sneak preview, the next video that's coming out in probably 3-4 days is going to be a little more holiday oriented. I want to start getting things a little more involved with coming up on the holidays. So I am going to be doing a vegan pecan pie that is actually going to be a little more on the nutritious side, not a lot of sugar as far as processed sugar kind of thing, but it's a pecan pie that I've done before that does have nutrition, it does have a lot of fiber, and is something that you might really like. So stay tuned, subscribe, hit the bell to be reminded when the next videos come out, and let me know the kind of things that you are looking for in videos coming up. such as things for the holidays. If you've got ideas that you want to see coming up for the holidays, let me know. We'll try to get that on for you, and make some kind of things that you're interested in. Once again, thanks for joining. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, and tune in a few days for a great vegan pecan pie, and hopefully this kind of pasta dish is something that you'll love too. Thanks. We'll see you later.